So, y'all weren't very impressed with the Tainted Cain run yesterday. Well, I wanted to go into that blind and, have a fun time seeing exactly what I got. But the true power of Tainted Cain comes when you actually know what you're trying to craft, which is exactly what this run is. Somewhat already in progress. It's still only on the first floor, but I wanted to see what I got as far as, crafting materials goes at the very beginning here before, starting up the eventual 4.5 hour run, I think this ended up being. And oh boy, is it a run. But before we get there, I didn't actually mean to use that. I meant to use the bag of crafting. But before we get there, I had to get a couple preliminary items, things that are going to set up the rest of the run. First one here, the fanny pack, means that every time I get hit, I'm going to drop some sort of consumable, which, is just going to be useful to get a bunch of junk on the ground and also to potentially craft some stuff later. Same thing with creating this box here because, well, more stuff on the ground means more stuff to craft with. Although butter is maybe the worst thing that Tainted Cain could possibly get. I had to drop that thing immediately. It makes it so that you have the potential to drop your bag of crafting. And if you try to pick it back up, it just turns into a bunch of crafting components. Yeah. It's unfortunate that the trinket that I got there was the worst one for Cain. Anyway, next couple items are Mom's Key. Improves the loot from chests, as well as gives me a couple keys. But improving the loot from chests is important because that just means, again, more crafting items. If I get more stuff from chests, that's more crafting items on the ground. The habit, on the other hand, means that now I have a consistent way to charge up active items. And I'm going to be needing to charge up active items a lot. Combine that with the fanny pack. Basically what happens is that every time I get hit, I'll drop something on the ground, and every time I get hit, I'll also get one more charge on my active item, which is the D20. Of course it is. That's going to be the big difference maker in early game here. I'm not going to be sticking with it for the entire run, but when it comes to just trying to get as many items as possible, this thing is going to be absolutely essential. So the basics of the D20 are that it's a 6-room recharge, re-rolls all of the consumable items on the ground, hearts, keys, pills, whatever. And what it can do is re-roll them into chests. And then chests can create even more consumable items, and as long as you have the ability to keep re-rolling it, which all I'll need to do is just continuously take damage, I'll be able to get pretty much infinite items on the ground. And that's why I am currently using all of the bombs that I've collected now to bomb the donation machine. Because, bam, there we go. There's actually some good rolls too, because stuff like the Bone Heart and the Eternal Heart that I just got there are important parts of higher tier crafting. Bone Hearts mean secret room items, Eternal Hearts means angel room items. Which, after checking to see exactly what I was going to be creating, I decided that the next most important thing is making sure that I'm never going to run out of health. Because, taking damage will spawn items and charge up my stuff, but it won't actually, eventually I'm going to run out of health. Even if I am continuously re-rolling to get, more and more hearts and everything, eventually I'll start to run really low. Unless I'm going to do what I'm doing right now and create a very specific angel room item. This is old school Isaac breaking right now. Before they introduce stuff like the Diplopia or the Steam sale and the restock and everything, this is how you used to break the game, with the scapular. So every time you enter the room, if you get down to half a heart, you are given a soul heart. And that can reset just by walking out of the room and walking right back in. Which means now I can pretty much infinitely charge stuff forever. Because all I gotta do is just, as soon as I get back down to half a health, I can just immediately walk out, walk back in, and there, it's back. And the other thing that I got there was the piggy bank, which on getting hit, drop coins, just to get even more stuff on the ground. And then, since I had the stuff for it, I decided to make the candy heart. Gives you stats when you pick up red hearts, which, considering that I'm going to be getting hit so much, I think that that's just going to be a good way to get a lot of extra stats right now. Because as I'm sure you've noticed, all of the stuff that I'm currently doing is good for, you know, the future run, but not so good for, like, actually attacking enemies right now. I decided to eventually move out of the shop into some place that had a little bit more consistent fires. Also crafted Rock Bottom, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually get as much usage out of over the course of this run as I thought, so it doesn't really matter. And the Soul Locket, which is the Soul Heart version of the Candy Heart. Basically, every time I get a Soul Heart, I get an increase to my stats. Now I'm really getting everything here. The wheels are in motion, but I'm still kind of like... At this point in time, I was sort of unsure as to even what I wanted to craft. So I was sort of more focusing on just getting as much stuff on the ground as possible. Hey, found the moon. I wasn't entirely sure if I showed this off, so decided, hey, here it is. Sends you to the Ultra Secret Room. Creates like red rooms, like you would with the red key item to get back there. Also just more stuff on the ground, even though I can't actually pick up the Bible there anyway. Well, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, like I said, I just thought that was important to, hey, show why there's suddenly like red rooms and, you know, super ultra secret rooms on the map too, if nothing else. So yeah, needless to say, I am trying very hard not to pick up anything that I don't need to right now, because I'm planning to use it for crafting stuff later. Yes. And this was the point where I'm just like, okay, enough with the, like, making stuff that's important for breaking the game. Let's just make something that's powerful. Sacred Heart. I had, like, a bunch of Soul Hearts. I had a bunch of Eternal Hearts on the ground. I can do it. Basically, that was my line of thinking. And then next up, because you realize pretty quickly here that dealing with fires is not very good because they'll eventually go out, usually due to a troll bomb or something exploding on them. I decided to now make the Wafer, which means that full heart damage is reduced to only half a heart, which means that the spikes on the ground in that one room near the... The spikes on the ground in this room right here near the entrance to the Ultra Secret Room will now only do half a heart damage to me, making this the more, you know, optimal spot for hemorrhaging out a bunch of items and coins and then re-rolling them. Which is exactly what I did for a quite long time. Yep. Stuff like the habit and whatnot can be kind of... This habit and the scapular especially can be kind of hard to make, but stuff like the D20 you can get pretty easily. Alright, next couple items I made were the battery, so that I can get 2 charges on my active item, and the dead cat just to make sure that if I died, I wasn't going to actually die. You know, just as like future insurance type of stuff rather than usefulness. And then by re-rolling a bunch of times, I got the question mark card, which is going to be something extremely important as I start to really get deep into breaking the game. Yeah, the end game here is not actually just to create like a Sacred Heart and get a really good run going. Oh, no. We're talking about Tainted Cain right now. It's like, this would be enough to beat a run, you know, to get down to, I don't know, like Delirium or something impossible and go do that. Obviously, I've taken way too long to actually get to the Delirium fight, so that wasn't going to happen, but, well, I didn't mean to use the question mark card there. I meant to use the bag. Well, just have to get another one a little bit later on, right? Anyway, the plan here requires 3 items. But first off, I want to make absolutely sure that I have one real good run going first. And then this was going to be the place that I was going to set up everything else, but a golden troll bomb spawned in there, so I abandoned that place. Instead, decided to just go look around to see if I can't find something else. After all, there is an entire floor here. This is only the 3rd floor of the game. I'm like an hour into it or something. Hey, I had to go like grind out all those items. But yeah, if you're curious as to what this run is eventually going to end up looking like, let's just say I'm not just unlocking stuff for Cain this run. I'll get into a little bit more about what I mean by that later on. Right now, obviously, the next thing that I was going to do is just kind of set up the shop in here to start re-rolling stuff, and so I did, basically. Ended up getting the black candle because I was sick of having that curse so I couldn't see my health. Or, you know, any curses. Curses are annoying, so getting the black candle cancels all those out, which is fine by me. Next thing was the school bag, so that I can hold 2 active items, because 2 of the items that are part of the 3 items that I need here are active items, so I need to be able to hold 2 of them at once. Taking a look at like what I need to do, what I was looking at crafting next, but you can also see like kind of what the total items that I have here are. Some good stuff, but you know, nothing that would really, like, except for Sacred Heart, would really make a run, you know, heretofore unheard of in terms of power in the Binding of Isaac. No. It's just a little bit more setup before I started really getting into it. Yeah. Here was the point when I just, decided to finally make the sharp plug. Look, the habit is great. I don't know why I didn't do the sharp plug earlier. I think it was because I thought that it wouldn't drop items, because it immediately takes like half hearts to just fill up your item entirely. And I thought that would only count as like getting hit once. No, it counts as getting hit a bunch of times. So this is the much more efficient way of breaking the game. And now we're going to take a little bit of an intermission. So before this run, I did a run to the Beast with Tainted Cain, because that is one of the 3, because unlocking this item is one of the 3 items that I need to truly break the game open in a real wacky way. And basically just imagine that while this is playing out, in the background I'm spending like, I don't know, an hour and a half just grinding out tons and tons of items. It wasn't even about getting specific items at this point, I was just like getting any item that I possibly could. Like, I'm just... So it's like, while Tainted Cain is doing this, it's just like, I'm just getting tons and tons of items, and when I get back there, I'm going to be extremely powerful. I had, like, base damage that entire run. Echo Chamber. Yeah, you remember I was talking about, like, I really needed the question mark card? I'll take a look at the items that I have right now. I just kept making the starter pack after starter pack, which spawns like 5 cards, until I could finally get it. Hate it. But yeah, I got like a bunch of other wacky stuff here too. But hey, I got it. So yeah. One of the 3 items, though, that is required to completely break the game is, you can see the second one in the school bag right now, the Clicker. Clicker consumes one of your passive items, whatever the first one that you picked up was, and changes you to a different character. Yes, that's what I was talking about when I said that it's just like, I'm not going to be playing entirely as Cain. I'm going to be playing as Cain right now, but now I have the ability to switch to other tainted characters and get some of their stuff unlocked. Alright, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not doing that right now, since I still need Cain's whole like bag of crafting. Because there's still one more item. Right now, obviously, what I'm going for is I'm going for the Echo Chamber that I just unlocked there. Because Echo Chamber is an interesting item. It is a secret room item, so I needed bone hearts. But it also does something very special with the question mark card that I picked up. Basically, what happens with Echo Chamber is when you use a consumable item, a card or a pill, it uses every single card or pill that you used since picking up Echo Chamber. Basically, the point of getting the question mark card means that every time I use a coin or pill past this point, after I use the question mark card at least once, I'm going to use the question mark card again. That is wacky overpowered. Question mark card causes your active item to be used. And there's a very specific active item. I mean, like I said, the Clicker, Echo Chamber, and then there's one more item. And that next item that I'm going to get, if you don't know about it, oh, it's something. It is something. Well, there it is. There's a recipe. Requires bone hearts because, yeah, it's secret room item, but I managed to get a couple there, kind of sequestered off in a room to make sure that I wasn't re-rolling them over and over. All right. Now, first card I'm going to use to make sure that every time I use a future card is going to be the question mark. It's very important, even though I already forgot where I put that thing. And this is wacky level of Isaac gameplay right now. But Tainted Cain, with his ability to pretty much create whatever item he wants to, has the ability to do this, which is why I was excited to have a run like this, because I knew it was going to be something. All right. So there. The question mark card is now in the echo chamber, which means that there's only one more item that I need to create. I'm looking up the recipe right there. And here it is. This one's going to be replacing the D20 because I don't need it anymore. I now have the R key. What does the R key do? Well, it is a one-time use item that sends you all the way back to the first floor. I think like the clone in Enter the Gungeon, if you know what that is. Basically what happens is that, yeah, you are able to retain all of your items, but you go all the way back to the first floor. Now, normally it's only a one-time use item, which is too bad. However, the question mark item, which automatically uses your active item, if it's used with Echo Chamber, as in it's not used directly on the item you're trying to use there, it does not consume the active item. Meaning that basically, now I have the ability to go back to floor 1 as many times as I want, as long as I have like a pretty benign card. So, for example, the Two of Clubs doubles the bombs you have, whatever. But when I use that, it will send me all the way back to floor 1 with all of my items. And then I'll also have the clicker, which allows me to change characters. You see what I'm going for here now. But for the time being, let's just kind of get on with a regular old run. I don't actually, there's not really anything else I need to do right now. The only really important thing would be to make sure that I'm not going to accidentally use the clicker or the R key directly by itself, because that would be really bad. Because that would, using the clicker would change me to a different character, which means I wouldn't have the bag of crafting, and I would also lose Echo Chamber, because that's the last passive item that I picked up. And using the R key would just consume it, and, you know, then I guess I'm just getting a regular old Cain run here. Fun fact, while I was prepping this up, I actually got a second question mark card, which I accidentally used with Echo Chamber while I was on the clicker, which consumed Echo Chamber, meaning I had to do that whole thing twice. Yeah. Note to self, get like some sort of, I don't know, like Ancient Recall is a card that creates a bunch of cards. Get that with like Blank Card, which just uses whatever the card you have in hand is without consuming it next time. Instead of trying to make, I don't know, 50,000 starter packs. There's better ways to do this, but look, this is my first time trying out this sort of run here. Please bear. Look, trust me, you didn't want to see the entire 4-hour run. It's not fun. I don't even know why I'm going in here. Tainted Cain can't pick up anything. Besides, the run is fine. As you can see, I don't even need to really go for any of the item rooms or anything. Now, there's a few shortcomings to this whole thing, because if I go for the beast fight, I can't use the R key after fighting. The beast fight automatically goes into an ending, and you can't get out of that. So unfortunately, Tainted Cain is not going into the beast fight. Mega Satan fight has a 50-50 chance of turning into that. And since I've already been in the run for like 2 hours now, there's no way I'm going to be able to get into Boss Rush or the Hush fight. So it is a little bit limited in that way, but there are things that I can do to actually get into those, well, to at least get into like the Boss Rush and the other fight. The only thing is I would have to give up the clicker or the R key for that, which I'm unwilling to. Look, there's still plenty of things to unlock considering I can change characters now too, and automatically go back to the beginning of the game. But for right now, it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to clown on the entire game here. I got Tiny Planet combined with Tractor Beam, which means that basically I have like the height of Tiny Planet and like the amount of tiers of Tiny Planet, but I shoot them all directly forward since Tractor Beam forces all tiers to be immediately in front of you, whatever way you're facing. Even though some of them still get into the Tiny Planet orbit anyway. Got the Continuum item so that they wrap around the screen, as well as Tech 0, which means they have lightning arcing between them. Aside from that, it's just like, yeah, I also have like homing tiers and stuff that means that it's just... And, you know, tons and tons of stat ups and whatnot. Just a bunch of junk that I got because I was just making whatever items I could. Filthy Mind, which is why all the dips are like friendly. I even have the acid tiers, which allows you to blow open doors, which is why I don't even need to fight anything right now. Hey, that's the Void. Sure. Which means I don't even really need to fight anything right now. I can just kind of like blow open the doors and leave through there. Also obviously have full health, the 9 lives, which I got with the dead cat earlier, just to make sure that even if I didn't have full health, I could get it back really easily. And the trinket that I'm using turns any troll bomb into just regular pickup bombs. It's all extremely trivial at this point in time. The only thing I was even somewhat worried about was, like I said, accidentally using like the clicker and getting rid of Echo Chamber, but even that I now have the Polaroid, so it doesn't really matter. Not even like trying to fight any of these guys. I don't even care about the items that they're dropping. They drop 2 at a time because of yet another item that I crafted. Look, you saw the amount of consumables that I had there. I had the ability to craft so much stuff. Oh, bloat. Well, that's that. Oh, there was also Perfection that dropped there, I guess because I killed 3 bosses without getting hit or something. Whatever. I'm going to end up getting hit, and besides, I'd rather just not deal with troll bombs, kind of the important thing. But as you can see, like combat-wise, runs popping off just fine. The important thing was to get like all the stuff so that I could change characters and everything, because it's like getting just a good run if you're breaking is one thing. Getting a run that will literally clear out completion marks for every character in the game potentially is different. Death? Oh, come on. Hey, blank card. That could have been useful like 3 hours ago at this point. Loki, nothing. Oh, Jacob's Ladder would actually be a genuinely really great item, but I can't pick it up. I mean, I already got electrified tiers. It's like that would just make it so that they're electrified whenever they hit a wall or an enemy, rather than just arcing between the individual tiers. But it would be destroyed if I picked it up, so whatever. Look, if I wanted to craft it, I could have just crafted it. There's a couple items that I probably should have crafted but didn't end up doing because, you know, I had already... Look, like I said, the important thing was the characters, not getting, like, super uber powerful run. Though I did anyway. Other good stuff there, but stuff that does not matter. That's weird. I noticed that just like those were the old version of the portals, which I was pretty sure that they had changed at this point in time to being something a little bit different. Yeah, and here's where I was just getting a little bit paranoid that I was accidentally going to use that clicker, so I'm just going to make a random item. Something that's going to be consumed, but whatever, doesn't matter. Can literally be anything. Shade. Shade, which is one of the worst items. Follows you around and deals damage to enemies if it touches them. Whatever, it's garbage. That thing, I would not care at all if it was destroyed. But you know, like I said, considering the amount of times that I've accidentally used one of my consumable items instead of you know, using the bag of crafting, I just wanted to make sure that I specifically went out of my way to make just something. And there's Delirium, finally. Yep, and I got a Tears Up pill in there, so now every time that I use a card or whatever, I'm going to get Tears Up pill and the question mark card. You can see an item that I actually just unlocked, a broken modem here, stopping the Tears of Delirium really well. also causing enemies to just kind of like glitch out and stop moving for a little bit. It's neat. Okay, Delirium does not send you directly into an ending, so tears up, and we're back on floor 1. And now it's going to start to get real fast here. And I'm going to throw out a warning right now, flashing lights, because as soon as I stop playing as Tainted Cain, I start to be able to pick up items again. And the items start to get real wacky. In fact, I'm probably going to have to put a flashing light warning. Well, anyway, 10 minutes later, I beat Blue Baby, and there's a few more completion marks. And then 10 minutes later, I beat Mother. You can see that broken modem still working there in weird ways. Yeah, it's like with a run like this, it does not take too long to go through the game. And there we go. There's yet another completion mark. Use that range up pill, which automatically uses the R key. And there we go. And then 10 minutes later, I've beaten the Dark Room. There's a ton of completion marks now for Cain. So now here's the point where I'm going to go into trying to use the clicker. So we got Dark Judas, it looks like. All right, and like I said, Dark Judas, I mean, he's got his own gimmicks, which I guess I haven't actually covered just yet, but don't worry, this is not really the run where it's going to matter at all. Dark Judas can actually pick up items. So like I said, flashing lights warning, because here it comes. And there is the Mother fight, and also the YouTube compression just going down a lot. And back to the beginning. And then, of course, 10 minutes later, is the Dark Room fight. See, I picked up a ton of stuff here at this point in time. Use that card, and we're back at the beginning of the game. And yeah, it's like at this point in time, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything else with Dark Judas. And that's Eden. I don't actually want to, even though I have a lot of stuff to do with Eden, I don't want to play as Eden, so I think this is Blue Baby. Yeah, well, there's certainly plenty of stuff I can do with Blue Baby still. For example, here's him. I told you flashing lights, by the way. Here's him beating up Delirium. Yeesh. Got like a whole bunch of planetarium items. I got like the Holy Mantle now. I think I actually have Guppy now, too. Well, so that's Blue Baby to Tainted Delirium. And back to the first floor. And I'm just like, I guess I could do more, but like, let's try a different character now. Why not? I think this is Tainted Eve. IBS unlocked. There's Tainted Eve to Mother, and this was actually the point in time that I had to stop because the game would not stop crashing on me. I could not turn into any different characters. And like, I'm not even firing tears at this point in time, by the way. I'm just standing perfectly still until I saw that Mother died. Yeah, so Tainted Cain, pretty amazing.